EV stock crash. Why I'm buying the dip. Okay guys, so here we are with another video talking about EV stocks. I hope you guys enjoyed my previous video on Tesla. I thought today was one of the biggest news events in history. Tesla's officially accepting Bitcoin. So now it's time to talk about some of these other EV stocks out here, because a lot of these stocks have been absolutely crushed over the last month or so. And I've been reading your guys' comments. A lot of you guys ended up buying at the top. Perhaps you bought some of these stocks when they were, for instance, and we're taking a look here at Tesla. We can see that Tesla was $900. Other stocks like NIO, Xiaoping, Lucid Motors, GOEV, ChargePoint, Blink Charging. So we're going to talk a little bit more about these stocks and which ones I'm specifically buying on the dip and why. Before we get into the video, guys, be sure to grab your 2 free stocks on Webull, guys. Webull is an awesome app. You can do so many more things with it than Robinhood. I've switched over to Webull and haven't looked back. And all you have to do is deposit at least $100. You get 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850, guys. So be sure to click the link in the description to grab your 2 free stocks. So let's get into the video, guys. So what's basically going on? Well, as you can see here, the main part of this chart is taking a look at Tesla right here, and we can take a look at the RSI. And the RSI, obviously, this is my favorite indicator for technical analysis. So we know fundamentally Tesla's doing great. Tesla is projected to probably have around 700,000 to 800,000 cars delivered, things like that. They're doing really well, but a lot of these stocks have completely sold off. So what's basically going on? Well, a lot of this money has shifted into other industries, guys. So we saw recently NFT stocks, those actually sold off today. So a lot of money was been moving into there, and a lot of meme stocks has sold off as well. It looks like there's a lot of profit taking. A lot of people are moving more into value stocks, things like that, stocks that pay a dividend. But the important thing to remember is that this is a great time to get into EV stocks, because generally the markets are driven by popularity contests in the short term, but they're driven by fundamentals in the long run. So nothing has changed about the fundamentals of the EV industry. I've showed you guys in video time and time again, EV adoption is only going to grow more and more and more in the future, because governments have mandated and basically banned the sale of ICE vehicles, that's internal combustible engine vehicles, gas guzzlers, in the future. So a lot of these companies are going to be the bigger companies of tomorrow. And the reason I think a lot of them have an advantage over your legacy automakers is simply focus, right? So companies like Ford and GM and Toyota and Volkswagen, they're not focused. And they have a lot of negative karma on these companies simply because they're still producing gas guzzling cars, and these are doing destructive things for our environment and our climate. So these companies don't have the focus, nor do they have the vertical integration to just stop producing gas guzzling vehicles and make EVs. While EV makers understand that this is a technology race, guys. So, you know, EVs are basically the smart car. So as you see now, we have smartphones. Now everyone's going to have a smart car. And these companies are focused on that technology. They're not worried about making gas guzzlers. They're looking into the future, kind of like Apple was focused on making the iPhone instead of worried about these simple analog phones. So let's talk a little bit more about some of my favorite stocks to buy on the dip. So here's a couple of lists. Couldn't put too many stocks on the chart because it's kind of clogging things up, and I'm using TradingView for this video. So my favorite one that I added today is, guys, I got to talk about Tesla again. So I just think today was such a historic moment, and Elon Musk and the guys at Tesla, man, they did something brilliant today, and I think it deserves really talking about, because this is a huge inflection point, not just in the EV industry, but in the entire global economic system. So, you know, Tesla is basically trading a depreciating asset, which is a car, for an appreciation asset, which is Bitcoin. So for me, that was the top stock I was focusing on today. I bought shares of Tesla for my IRA. That was like the #1 stock that I was focused on, because I already liked Tesla. In fact, they were growing their revenues, but also they're going to be hodling Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is basically the #1 asset, you know, of the 21st century. I don't really think you can buy anything better than Bitcoin. You know, it's basically digital gold. You know, for thousands of years, gold has been an asset, but right now gold is being demonetized. So I would say Tesla is definitely my favorite dip buying opportunity around, just based on the news they're going to be hodling Bitcoin and accepting it as a payment. So a couple of other stocks that I really like as well. I really like Lucid Motors. So this is like Tesla 2.0. They're focusing more on the luxury market. As you can see right now, it's trading at about $22 $22. Lucid Motors has done pretty well year to date, as you can see here. You know, it's basically down a lot from its high where it's trading up at $60. So, you know, if we could just hold on a second, I'm going to adjust the chart so it's a little bit easier to watch. Okay, so I took off Tesla. We talked about Tesla, so let's talk about CCIV. So this stock is really interesting because this one is really hyped up Lucid Motors, guys. Lucid Motors is basically the Tesla 2.0. They have a lot of cool things in the project. If you guys want to learn more about Lucid Motors, be sure to check out some of my past videos. I did a couple videos analyzing the stock and why I like them so much. Really awesome company, run by a former Tesla executive, and basically they're just producing the luxury market. So Tesla cars are really nice cars, but they're not really luxurious. So this Lucid Air vehicle, it should be launched in the second half of this year, and currently CCIV is trading at around $22, guys, and you can see the RSI is basically below 40 or so, so it's moving out of favor. You know, generally with stocks like this, we want to buy these stocks when they're out of favor. We don't want to buy them when they're soaring because there's just not much upside. So when these stocks are soaring like this, that's when a lot of the people that bought at the bottom, they're going to be dumping on you. So this is one of the reasons why you're seeing that these stocks, like for instance, CCIV went to 60, people bought it at 60, and now it's at 20 because, you know, people bought it at 10, then they dumped it at 60, and now they're going to be thinking about entering the position again. So this is when you want to start getting interested in it as well. So for me personally, I'm basically just allocating money to buy these stocks regularly. But if you're looking for a great swing trade opportunity, I think CCIV is a wonderful example. This Lucid Air vehicle, this has been hyped for years, and people have been really awaiting this vehicle. And another stock I want to talk about is NIO and Xiaoping. So these are the other two stocks I want to talk about. So these are the two Chinese stocks that I think are very interesting. NIO has fallen so far, and they still constantly are delivering more vehicles. XPEV as well is doing absolutely well. So I think a lot of these stocks are just simply oversold. And then the final one I want to talk about is GOEV, guys. So GOEV is another stock. They're really kind of mysterious. Canoe, they're basically haven't really made any vehicles. This is a super speculative stock, but a lot of analysts like Luke Lango over at Investor Place have talked great lengths about this stock. And, you know, it's definitely a speculative play, but there's definitely some upside here. You know, it's only $12 a share, so it's very, very close to its original SPAT price. So I mean, the downside risk is pretty tiny, right? The downside risk is basically $10, but there's a lot of upside here as well. So what I'm going to actually do, I'm going to make a separate video for the EV charging station stocks because I think that's like a different industry. Basically, those are the picks and shovel sellers. But the EV stocks, I think, are completely oversold. So this is a great time, I think, to dip buy. Nothing has changed about the future of the EV market. We're still heading in that direction. EV adoption is a guarantee. Just like smartphone adoption was a guarantee. You know, people don't want these older flip phones and things like that when you put people with iPhones and Samsungs and they can watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. And that's what's going to be the future of EVs, guys. No one's going to want an old school, boring car that you just ride in when you can have a smart car that, you know, summons to you, that self-drives. It's just, no one's going to want them anymore. So I think this is a wonderful dip buying opportunity to get into some of these EV stocks, guys. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. You know, this is not investment advice. You know, this is just what I personally feel about the EV industry. And even though some of these stocks have quite sold off, you know, over the last couple of months, I'm not worried because I know that this is a voting contest right now. Nothing has changed with the fundamentals of these companies. You know, they're still, most of these companies are doing record sales except for CCIV and GOEV. You know, they're not really selling vehicles yet, but nothing's changed. So, you know, while people are cycling out of these stocks, you might be suffering a few losses. Just remember the big picture long term, right? You know, you definitely don't want to miss this because ever since the smartphone, I think smart cars is the next big thing. I can't really think of anything that will affect the personal consumer more than the vehicle that they're driving in their driveway. So I think this is a great opportunity here. So like I said, guys, do your own due diligence. Never invest money that you can't afford to lose. But I've been adding, personally, I added Tesla today. I added Tesla, and then I'm going to be adding a few more of these companies. Probably going to be focusing on CCIV and GOEV as well. And I really am interested in NIO and Xiaoping, guys. So those are the 5 stocks that I think are some excellent dip buys. And if you enjoy this video, guys, be sure to smash the like button and smash the red subscribe button as well. Be sure to check out my daily stock watch newsletter and my private Discord, guys. That's it. Until next time. Take care.